My secret code book growing up was Black Beauty. I started reading that book when I was in third grade because I was in love with horses, and I read every horse book I could get my hands on. And of course, that was one that fell into my hands quickly at the local library. And I loved the book because it championed the horses. It was told in first person narrative from the horse's point of view, Black Beauty's point of view. And the book really advocated for taking good care of horses, which I thought was a noble cause. And it portrayed in fairly vivid detail some of the hardships of being a working horse. And of course, where I lived, there weren't working horses, so I hadn't really had a chance to see that in reality. Later, I went back to read it as an adult, and I was surprised at how didactic it was. I didn't notice that as a young kid reading it. I still loved the main character and still loved the message of the book. But of course, I had grown up and was able to read on a little more sophisticated level, and so I was seeing it in different ways. One of the things I loved about Black Beauty and that made it stay with me all these years is the fact that I think it fed an early interest in taking care of animals and advocating for animals because they can't advocate for themselves. And so the message in that book of, take a look at from the animal's point of view, not just the workers, the human workers, and consider the circumstances that they're living under, and are they doing so because we want to take advantage of them? They're serving at our pleasure, and yet it's at their cost. And so from a very early age, and also because my parents shared this view, I have a very strong passion for advocating for animals through things like Humane Society, ASPCA, things like that, rescuing strays every chance you can get. And also looking around and saying, I'm not sure the treatment of animals right here is ethical. And I think it fed into, and not just for myself, but for a lot of people, about the way animals are treated in zoos and other captivity, and just really feeling uncomfortable about it. And I think some of that was that, again, that first person narrative through the voice of Black Beauty saying, this is what it feels like from my side. And, as adults and humans, we don't often get to see that side. And I know it was anthropomorphized, but at the same time, it did give me a real insight into what it could feel like to be on that side of the fence.